Inglorious Basterds opens on completely new territory for Quentin Tarantino, an opening scene that immediately signals he's taking tension to another level. Even now, it remains one of the most suspenseful openings in modern cinema. In just a few minutes, Tarantino establishes Christoph Waltz's character, the meticulous and terrifying Jew hunter Hans Landa, and shows us that danger doesn't have to shout to be deadly. Suspense arises from the ordinary in this scene, the unsettling reminder that during the brutal World War II era, good people could not escape danger.
You're sheltering enemies of the state, are you not?
Yes.
So in this incredible opening scene, Nazi Colonel Hans Landa, played by Christoph Waltz, visits a French farmer, Pierre Lapadite, played by Denise Ménochet, trying to locate a family of Jews he suspects are hiding in the farmhouse, using charm and intimidation to get the answers he wants. Tarantino shows remarkable restraint in this scene. He said in interviews that it was all about stretching the tension as far as it could go, and then further. At a time when he was known as the fast-paced, in-your-face wild man of cinema, this slow, deliberate, almost surgical build-up demonstrated that Tarantino could hang with the big boys of filmmaking. A large part of the tension comes from Christoph Waltz himself. Hans Landa is terrifying, not because he's overtly violent, at least not yet, but because of his unsettling charm. He jokes, he flatters, he smiles ear to ear, casually refers to himself as the Jew hunter like it's just another casual, cheerful career. He doesn't kick down the door or scream. He plays games with words, lulls his victims with false warmth. It's that combination of joviality and menace which makes him far scarier than pure cruelty ever could. When Landa talks about Jews being like rats and how people instinctively dislike them without reason, his inner psychopathy bleeds through. It's crazy to hear human beings being discussed this way, and it reminds us of the horrors of a world in which ideology can completely erode a man's moral compass.
You don't like them. You don't really know why you don't like them. All you know is you find them repulsive.
Waltz's eyes are welcoming but menacing at the same time, as he puts Perrier through the ringer without raising his voice. Denise Ménochet's performance subtly goes from calm composure to rising terror, and it's really affecting and sad to watch. You can see his heart breaking as the scene goes on. When the camera drops below the table to reveal the Jews hiding underneath the floorboards, the tension escalates. They cover their mouths, daring not to breathe. This silent horror mirrors the terrifying reality of the era. Any noise could mean death, and the predator above is calculated, relentless, but human. Landa is stalking them like a lion in the wild, and that's so disturbing since he's meant to be a human being. The camera in the scene is deliberate, unhurried, and it lets each moment breathe. Close-ups linger on Waltz's face as he cracks jokes or tilts his head in false warmth, forcing us to notice every little expression. Several shots show the cozy farmhouse, and the interior just contrasts so sharply with the danger it now contains. The scene is quiet, almost painfully so. Each ordinary sound becomes a signal of dread. Tarantino's writing of Hans Landa is a rare cinematic achievement. While many Nazi characters in films are depicted as grim, silent or robotic, Landa is unsettlingly human. He cracks jokes, smiles, and discusses his role as a Jew hunter with casual ease. This approach mirrors the disturbing reality that many Nazis were not just faceless monsters. They were individuals who whistled while they worked, enjoyed their lives, and justified their atrocities as routine. Tarantino chose to show us this more insidious side of evil, the kind that wears a smile and speaks in pleasant tones. If you met this guy without knowing what he did, you'd probably think he was a charming guy, and that's so scary to think of. The nuanced approach to this character is a testament to Tarantino's impact on cinema. He consistently brings fresh perspectives to the genres he explores, even when he's still deeply rooted in his influences. Before Inglourious Basterds, few films portrayed Nazis with such charm and charisma. Most Nazi characters were one-dimensional. Christoph Waltz's performance captivated audience and critics alike. His portrayal offered a new lens through which to understand the horror of the Nazi regime, not as distant, unfeeling monsters, but as individuals who could blend into society, making their evil all the more pervasive. This is the true horror of the Nazis, shown in this opening scene of Inglourious Basterds. Fascism comes with a smile as your friend, and we must never forget that. Waltz's smile is the ultimate sobering reminder. When that tension finally explodes, we get another example of Landa's cruelty and ego. He doesn't give his victims any chance at all, switching back to speaking French and pretending he's leaving. It's a nasty, calculated decision. He pretends to say goodbye to the daughters while letting his men into the farmhouse. There's no decency and no sporting chance for any Jew. He will use any underhanded tactic to achieve his goals. Even when young Shosanna Dreyfus, played by Melanie Laurent, actually escapes, Landa cracks a smile and shouts after her, almost encouraging her to run. It's as if he's saying, "You can run now, but I will find you." His calmness shows the depth of his psychosis. He doesn't even care if she escapes because he sees himself as inevitable, her destiny. He can laugh it off because he feels superior.
Au revoir, Shoshana!
You'd expect him to lose his mind because he's lost his prey, but instead Landa reacts like a lion, patient, calculating, calm, knowing his time will come again. Every frame, every whisper, every subtle shift in expression or camera angle underscores the stakes in this scene. The quiet terror of an ordinary world invaded by extraordinary evil. The farmhouse, the milk, the polite conversation all become part of a larger, scary stage where history, ideology and human fear collide. This is why the first 5 minutes of Inglourious Basterds still take our breath away.